Well, hey family, today's scripture comes from Exodus chapter 33, verses 7 through 11. The people of God here are traveling in the desert on the way to the promised land. Moses, their leader, was interceding on behalf of Israel before the Lord. So let's read this passage together and then we'll reflect on it. It was Moses' practice to take the tent of meeting and set it up some distance from the camp. Everyone who wanted to make a request of the Lord would go to the tent of meeting outside the camp. Whenever Moses went out to the tent of meeting, all the people would get up and stand in the entrances of their own tents. They would all watch Moses until he disappeared inside. As he went into the tent, the pillar of cloud would come down and hover at its entrance while the Lord spoke with Moses. When the people saw the cloud standing at the entrance of the tent, they would stand and bow down in front of their tents. Inside the tent of meeting, the Lord would speak to Moses face to face as one speaks to a friend. What a wonderful picture of relationship we find right here in this passage, friends. We've got Yahweh, the God of Israel, and Moses, their leader, having developed this friendship. You know, they spent time together. They fought for one another, and they trusted each other. It's an incredible mark of distinction when we read the Lord would speak to Moses face to face as one speaks to a friend. You know, the presence of God became the differentiating factor in Moses' life and leadership. And so I want to invite you right now to reflect on a question. Are you friends with God? You know, because of Jesus, we can be, and you should be. But knowing about God is just not the same thing as knowing God personally for yourself. The people of God would make their requests of him through an intercessor, through Moses, but they did not enter into that tent of meeting for themselves. Instead, they watched from a distance as they saw Moses, their leader, enter in, and they saw the cloud of his presence descend as they bowed down in reverence. Yeah, they knew about God, but they just didn't know them for themselves. Now, friend, how thankful are we for Jesus? He's our great intercessor who, like Moses, stands between us and God to make us righteous by his precious blood and to give us access to the Father. Yes, you can be friends with God, but you'll have to enter into his presence. And that's what this First 20 is all about. It's about establishing your own personal tent of meeting with God. It's a place of encounter where you can remove any veil of religious pretense. We're not faking it here. You don't need to hide your face in shame from the very one who knows you and who loves you. Your Father in heaven, he wants to see the real you, friend. He wants to listen to you and talk with you. He wants to provide for you, guide you, and protect you as his very own. Will you let him? You see, when you walk through the fires of struggle together, trust builds, and you learn to depend on one another instead of depending on your own strength. And that's exactly what happened with Moses, as time and time again, God showed up with protection, provision, with guidance and vision. The scriptures say that the face of Moses would radiate the presence of God after he'd been with the Lord. Well, may you find your own tent of meeting with the Lord. Whether it's your favorite chair, a place you love to walk, a car ride, or a prayer closet, learn to trust God as you hang out with him regularly in prayer. And may your face radiate with his glory throughout the day. Bless you, friend.